So I was telling him a little bit about you. So you are a student at the University of Montana,
Yeah,
and you were diagnosed a little bit later. How old were you when you were diagnosed?
I was 40.
Yeah. So you going to school now has been like school was difficult before diagnosis, of course, right? But now you know, and you're approaching school knowing that information. So what has it been like for you now knowing what your disability is and figuring out how to like mesh all of that together?
It's a very good question. Thank you for asking. Well, first, I think I'd like to just let you know that what my exact diagnosis is. I was diagnosed in 2016 here in Montana at Shodair Children's Hospital by a geneticist. Um, and so my diagnosis is static encephalopathy,
Mm-hmm.
alcohol exposed.
Right.
Um, and so I think I try not to superimpose it, but the static portion of my diagnosis is very befitting how my brain works. And so I
Mm.
really have to work around that. It's a constant battle. So I since 2016 I have been trying to educate myself as much as possible from anyone I can about the FASD umbrella and
Mm-hmm.
FAS. And so coming back to school, having been out of school since my late 20s,
Mm-hmm.
and being back into school for the first time at 45 now, has been um, it's been what you would say what would be comparable to a culture shock, but
Yes.
do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is, it is a really big change, and especially with my disability. So before I knew my disability, I just figured I had to work as hard as I could because my teachers always told me I was very creative, I was very intelligent, but watch, you're just being lazy, you're just being this and that. And, after your entire life, that that starts to wear on you, and that kind of becomes you,
Yes.
unfortunately. So now that I have this diagnosis, the um, it's extremely empowering, and so now I have the confidence, I guess, to talk with my professors, or talk with my advisor, or talk with my caseworker, or talk with my therapist, or of course talk with Adam, who is my fiance and was really the catalyst to this entire diagnosis.
Mm.
And um, before my diagnosis, I didn't know where to begin to
Yeah.
talk with any of my educators, other than to say, listen, it's you tell me A, B, and C, or tell me to do A, B, and C, but I will do, you know, X, Y, Z instead, or I'll do B, A, C.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I have uh, implements in place that help me stay on course. Like I just said, taking the initiative to talking with my professors and caregivers, and also to um, there's an app that the application there's an application app, I should say, that the university downloads for students who enroll under disability services, and it's called Sonoset. I don't
Okay.
know if anyone's heard of Sonoset, but it has been a really big game changer for me because I can push record on that, and it records the entire class session,
Ooh.
and it allows me to post whatever links that class or the professor required of that class. Uh, so I have everything I need on that particular day. I can go back and I can listen to what I need to, because my note taking is awful. It makes no sense, really.
Right.
It is just a really big game changer for people with deficits like memory that I have, and deficits in organization, which I have.
And understand, so you can be in a room and understand it, and then like walk away and be like, wait a minute, what were they saying? Yeah, I mean, I think that's so many people, but the executive functioning like support for that is incredible. Somebody asked, how do you spell the name of that app?
Sonoset, Sonoset.
There you go. I was watching a show, and the show was about an individual on the autism spectrum, but they had note takers. It was like an anonymous person in your class that would take notes for you.
Yes.
Which I like. Again, this is not anything. The episode was around the fact that he needed more accommodations in order to do well in school, but he kind of didn't want them because he would be different, right? And then he used the accommodations, and it was like, it was a game changer for him, and the way the school had it set up wasn't shame-inducing. So this is interesting because it kind of empowers you to do it yourself. I like the recording aspect of it because I think that I encourage people to do that for IEP meetings also, because you don't even remember what I have left several IEP meetings and been like, when did they say they were going to get that to me? So like, warn the people before you go to the meeting, but these kinds of things help a lot of people. But in order to help you prove what you know and what you understand, right, versus what your brain is capable of regurgitating, that's not the same thing. You're using this support, which is awesome.
It is awesome. And that is another option I could have, is an anonymous note taker. But I feel that the Sonoset does everything and more that I would need personally, I would need. I mean, you can go back and you can edit out what's not necessary for you, so your brain doesn't have to be sidetracked by that.
Yeah.
You can organize it by color. I mean, it's an amazing app.
Yes, I'm obviously going to look that up after this. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And I like that it's independent too, because I know that accepting help can be difficult, but you can't make anyone accept help, right? So if you're working with a kid, either professionally or personally, and you're like, we got to figure out some accommodation for this. This is a way that they can do it. That's like, okay, it's cool, it's on technology, but also you're helping yourself. Well, I have not asked this yet, but what are your educational goals? Why are you going back to school?
So my educational goals are self-inspired because of my diagnosis. I mean, like I said, it has empowered me in ways I never could have imagined. It's unfathomable, and I feel like I need to share this with others as best I can. I want to go. My main objective in school is, and I have it written down. I have it written down better on my Facebook page, but my goal really is to just go try to get my bachelor's degree in social work. But my end goal and first goal is to start an FASD outreach program in Montana, because there really is nothing available. Healthcare workers know very little to nothing about it.
Yes.
And that includes therapists, that includes med prescribers, that includes educators too.
Yeah.
And I think that is just a huge necessity that Montana needs. Montana needs educators. FASD educators. Communities need FASD educators. Proof Alliance, I believe not too long ago, didn't they get legislation to pass a bill that requires all kids that are entering the foster care system to be screened for FAS or FASD? Because if not, often these kids are seen as behavioral problems
Right.
and not symptoms of. And if they
Yes.
don't know that that symptom is FASD or FAS, these kids are going to get medicated improperly.
Way over medicated. I can attest to that. Yeah.
Right, and they're not going to get the right therapies they would need.
Yeah.
It would just further enhance their trauma and further enhance their disability.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
We are totally on the same page. I want to wrap up by reiterating something you said that I thought was really powerful. You said that having a diagnosis for your disability has empowered you to speak to people, and I think that that's really something that we as parents. I've had a lot of parents contact me and say, "Should I get my child diagnosed?" My answer is always yes, and this is a great example of why, because you now can go to your teacher and not say, so like I forget a lot, and so like could I have, you're saying I have a disability, I need accommodations. These are some ways that I think may be helpful. What do you think? Like it's a professional, empowering conversation versus you kind of going and like, so I really like that has given you language, which is what we talked to my last Duo Live about, given you language to self-advocate. And I'm hoping that is true for more kids.
Good. Yes. I mean, that's the main goal here, right? Is to have healthy kids, healthy minds. Uh, Makes a better, healthier future, really. But that, like my social work degree is something that I would really like to implement into this outreach program, so that I can especially reach out to Indigenous communities,
Right.
that of course I feel are left out of major mental health and trauma care issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is super imperative, uh, especially for our people
Oh,
who
for
are
sure.
already marginalized. So, but of course, to help all communities collectively too. So, spread the
You
knowledge and spread the empowerment, so other people, especially other people who already are therapists or doctors, can take the initiative to learn more and see that this really is a dire problem and a dire need for support from them that they could easily do.
Yes, yes. Professionals don't realize how much power they hold. I am so excited to follow you because they always talk about how parents make such a big change in the FASD community. But I've seen huge movements made by individuals on the spectrum. You are definitely going to be one of those people. I can't wait
Oh,
to
great.
see. I will follow along and support and everything. I'm so excited. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining me today to help give people a little bit of an insight as to what it looks like for you. And I think that people will find this very valuable.
Thank you, and thank you for asking me to be part of your learning
Yeah.
education.
This is your big advocate. Put this on your resume, okay?
Yes, Aubrey, I will. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.